Hi everyone, it's Becky here from Ivy's Corner, back for day number 26 of Inktober Tangles 2025. Now today's pattern is, it's called Owlpeek and it is by Susan Yeo, CZT, and I'm excited to show it to you today. So I'm going to open up my booklet and we are going to get started. So we're on day 26 already, and there's a couple of different ways that you can work with this pattern. We start off by forming kind of a longish cross. You can draw it so that it kind of creates like a long border, but I'm going to try it in a different way and see how it comes out basically. So we start off with, for Owlpeek, by drawing a cross, so quite a long cross like this, and then we're going to cap that off at the top and the bottom like so. Kind of looks like a sand timer almost. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a nice big spiral that's going to kind of come out. You want it to come out beyond this sort of line. If you draw between the top and the bottom of your timer shape, you want to bring a nice big spiral out like this, like so. And then we're going to do one on the other side, but I think you can bring this round and do your spiral in the opposite direction. That's not a necessity, but I just think it looks nice when you do it that way. So you've kind of got these two different spirals coming out in a different way, and it almost looks like a curly S that's drawn across the centre of your timer here. And now we're going to join this top corner here to the side of your spiral, and the same in this direction, and the same here as well. And finally we're going to add some nice texture lines starting at the top and coming down to that point in the centre. This is not unlike the Tangle Munchin, if you're familiar with that one from HQ. And that is the main basis of our pattern. Now, as you can see, you could draw another one here, so I'm going to just do another one here, and we can join them along with these kind of timer shapes. And then you can curve your spiral out and around, and then the other way, like so, and then attach these sides together and add those texture lines, and you end up with a sort of a hexagon shape. And so you can play around with that and maybe just experiment with doing one in this direction. It depends on what you're after from your pattern and how it fits into the piece that you're creating overall. But I like this kind of combination of curved lines and straight lines, and these shapes that can kind of grow off one another to fill a space. Or you could have them almost entirely separate from anything else. They don't have to kind of grow off one another at all. Let's do another one up here. Lots of different options. Like so. I quite like these nice big curly spirals. I've forgotten to do my sections on here. But you can see how this starts to kind of come together to create this really interesting collection of patterns. I'm going to do two more just so you can see how this all looks together. I think it's definitely worth trying to do a fairly large spiral, because if you do it too small then you don't kind of get enough of an angle on this section here. Just taking your time. I'll do one more down here just so that you can see how it all comes together. But yeah, as I said, it doesn't have to be in this formation. You can create these Owlpeek. They're like little fragments of their own accord, I suppose. Use these little fragments in any way that you like. And you can experiment with making them different sizes and changing things up. depending on the effect that you're trying to achieve. We'll leave that one as the last, but obviously, you know, you could keep going and create these really interesting little patterns. So yeah, a really fun one. Let's do some shading. Now, as ever, when it comes to shading, you can kind of play it by ear and do whatever works for you. I'm going to add a little bit of shade in the centre here. I think anywhere where these lines converge is always a good spot for shading. Anywhere where lots of lines kind of come together and converge is kind of a natural place, and the pen kind of almost looks as if it's darker anyway. And then I think I'll just add some around the tops of each spiral. But by all means, have a play around and see how you like the shading to look with these. I'm going to take my tortillon and just soften all of this graphite that I've added. But there's never-ending kind of options when it comes to shading any tangle, so you can experiment and play with it and see how it all is looking in your composition. And there is Owlpeek. So we are on day number 26. And this is Owlpeek by Susan Yeo. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching along with me today. Don't forget to tag me if you're on social media. You can tag me in any of your artwork that you've used kind of with my video as inspiration or helping. Don't forget you can also like and subscribe to my channel, and I would love to see you tomorrow for day number 27.